Hey everyone, this is going to be another video for fragrances that I recommend in 2026. So, I actually have made, I think, two previous videos, one for men, one for women, with fragrances that I feel like more people should be wearing in 2026. This could be new releases, it could be underrated stuff that no one really knows about, or it could just be stuff that I'm in that kind of phase right now where I like this kind of scent profile. So it could be that. But pretty much the idea is to get you to put you on to some fragrances that you may not know, or maybe you know about them, but you haven't really pulled the trigger yet to actually buy them. So maybe this is the sign to actually go and buy some of them. So yeah, let's start the list with a fragrance by UNUM, which is a Vietnamese, I believe, fragrance house, or the perfumer was inspired by Vietnam or something like that. Um, it's called Mango Sticky Rice by UNUM. In my opinion, it's like a hybrid of porthole, Blue Mari porthole and Initiate Musk Therapy. You really do have that kind of musky, fruity, floral smell to it. Um, However, this is supposed to be mango sticky rice. I don't feel like it smells like mango sticky rice, but it does have that mango note like porthole does. Um, and I don't really get much coconut. So the actual notes in here are like three notes: mango, rice, and coconut milk. However, in my opinion, I get more of that blackcurrant, tagites, magnolia kind of smell in there, which is and very musky, like musk therapy. So anyway, let's move on to the next fragrance. This is probably my current favorite from the list as well, which was Mango Sticky Rice. So that's probably the one that I'll buy for myself out of all of these on the list. So next one is by Menditorrosa. This is called Lacura. It's got pear, orange blossom, neroli, petitgrain, jasmine, some powdery notes, vanilla, caramel, cashmere, and musk, benzoin, and ambroxan. In my opinion, it's kind of similar to like Vibrato and Tiger and Ingenious Ginger in the way that it does the same thing as those do. Like it's got that musky kind of like soft, powdery, gingery smell to it. But it doesn't smell like vibrato. So like if you put them side by side, you'd be like, yeah, it's not a dupe. It doesn't smell like it. It's not inspired by it or anything. But if you like that kind of DNA vibrato, I would recommend do try something like this. This is probably more unisex or more feminine actually. So maybe better for girls. But the orange blossom pear combination and this is really nice. So I really like this one. I find that fizzy kind of gingery smell even though it's not listed in the notes. That's what I kind of get from this fragrance, and I like that a lot. So next is by a zoologist. I'm actually going to put two zoologists in the list because they're kind of both new releases. First is Chameleon. This is the Tropical Bloom edition, so not the original Chameleon. This is the newest one, the Tropical Bloom. It's got banana leaf, ylang ylang, orange blossom, jasmine, guava, passion fruit, vanilla, and sandalwood. It's a very fruity kind of fragrance, musky, soft, and it does have that tropical kind of vibe to it, and it's really good. I prefer this over the original Chameleon, but definitely you're gonna like this one. I feel like this is pretty mass appealing. Um, as it pretty much most of the stuff on this list anyway. So the other zoologist is Lovebird, which is another fruity kind of one, maybe a little less tropical. But this has got like kiwi, mint, blackcurrant, lavender, citrus, wormwood, lily of the valley, passion fruit, ylang ylang, heliotrope, musk, amaryllis, vanilla, amber, oak moss, and a bunch of other notes. So pretty much fruity, floral, musky with like that heliotrope kind of smell. This one more for girls, but it is unisex as well. So if you just want fruity scents, I always like to include some fruity scents because I like fruity scents. I know girls like fruity scents. They appeal to like a large amount of people, so they're really good to recommend to people. These fruity scents, and you may not really know much about Zoologist brand because it's a challenging house to get into. They have a lot of really niche avant-garde kind of stuff. But then they also have some more beginner-friendly stuff like these, which is good to see that they're bringing more beginner-friendly stuff for new people, like Lovebird, Chameleon, Tropical Bloom. They're good places to start. Also, Seahorse, it's aquatic marine. I've mentioned that in the previous video. That's a little bit more challenging. These ones are a bit easier to get into. So next is by Toscovat, and it's called Pornstar. So this one is actually, I was put off by Toscovat House because I thought they were just a quirky, weird brand that just made like really weird sense. But after smelling this, I was like, hey, this is pretty mass appealing, and it did surprise me because I never really thought this house was reaching for that kind of market. Like I thought they were kind of doing what the ET was it ELDO Secretions Magnifique, that brand, whatever that brand's called, the ETAD or ELDO. I thought they were kind of in that same kind of market for like weird quirky fragrances, but this one it's got bubblegum, dragon fruit ice, finger lime, martini, amaryllis, which is like a flower that has a bubblegum smell to it. Pink flamingo heliconia, which is a tropical kind of flower. Haven't seen that in any fragrances. Suntan lotion, vanilla persimmon, lotus, and beeswax and meringue. So you can see they've just tried to add notes that aren't really used as much or haven't been used at all, really. So, but the smell of it is pretty generic. Like it is bubblegum with the heliconia. Bubblegum and musk and like floral notes and stuff. So it's kind of like fruity, bubblegummy. That's what you get. Like some of the notes I don't really smell in here, so I wish I could smell some more of the notes, but it is a nice fragrance. So yeah, do try this one out. Pornstar by Toscovat. Next one is more of a sweet fragrance. I was going to put some sweet fragrances in the list too, so it's not all fresh. You got the notes are toasted palm sugar, coconut milk, rice, vanilla, pandan, tonka musk, palm leaf, cashmeran. It's got ebony wood, cedar. In my opinion, this is quite dark, toasty, very nutty and woody. So for a coconut scent, it's much darker than you would expect. It's more bitter than you would expect. And that mainly comes from like all the toasted kind of scent, whatever's in there. Maybe it's the rice or the palm sugar or the ebony wood. It's got like a dark toasty smell to it. So if you like that, try this one. It's a coconut that kind of like does its own thing. So I like that. So the next fragrance is by a house called UNUM. But if you try search UNUM on Fragrantica, you may not really find it. I think the perfumer is Filippo Sorcinelli or something. But yeah, like you can just search the fragrance. It's called Scusami. And I'll put it in the description or the comments or something in this video so you can actually read what it's called. But UNUM is UNUM. So that's how it's spelled. It's got fruits, musk, woods, ylang ylang, freesia, rose, sugar, currant leaf, lily of the valley, plum, citrus, and heliotrope. So it's a fruity plum with that powdery heliotrope and some musk and stuff in there. Really nice. The opening of this was amazing. Like I was actually blown away by the opening, how fruity and delicious it was. Like when I smell a good plum opening, it just hooks me instantly. Dry down is generic, like I don't really get the beautiful opening in the dry down, but the dry down has a pretty more generic musky smell to it. And it kind of loses the fruitiness. So good, it's a good fragrance. I recommend it because you get the dry down and you get the opening. So it transforms a little bit, but you could just reapply it a couple of times throughout the day if you want that opening to stick around, you know. So next is by Gritti. It's not a new release, but this one's called Eclectique. And in my opinion, it smells like Simone Andreoli, Leisure in Paradise. Or there's another fragrance called Buon Talenti by Profumo di Firenze. So basically, they're just like sweet coconut, tropical kind of like fragrances, right? So this one actually, the notes are a little bit more different, but it has the same kind of smell. It's got strawberry, melon, coconut, jasmine, blackcurrant, heliotrope, white musk, and vanilla. So the main notes are pretty much coconut, white musk, and vanilla, but the heliotrope and strawberry do come through in this one as well. So Gritti make a lot of good fragrances. I was debating whether I should put Tutu or Eclectique in the list, but I went with Eclectique because I like it just a little bit more. So next fragrance is Narcisso Musc Santal. So this is a new release. Basically, just a very clean woods and a little bit powdery, a little bit musky, but in a very clean type of way. Like, so this is a very subtle fragrance that's not really in your face. Just smell good, smell clean fragrance. So the notes are juniper berry, sage, musk, sandalwood, and cedar. If you like a nice clean cedar with juniper berry, this is perfect for you. This one's more on the masculine side, so I don't know if it's unisex, but I'm not saying girls can't wear it because it's kind of like still clean, musky wood. So next is Byredo Gypsy Water, the Absolu version. So the new one that just came out. Pretty much the same notes as the original: pine, pepper, incense, orris, vanilla. But they've added some suede and carrot seeds in the note listing as well. So I love the original Gypsy Water. Performance was always an issue with the original one. So I like that the Absolu, they all last longer actually. So that's one thing that I wanted to put in the list because there was no way I wasn't going to include it when I found out it came out and got to smell it. So I'm definitely putting it in a list because I know it's already sold out in stores everywhere because that's how popular and good it is. Get your nose on this stuff. Gypsy Water Absolute, and try it. It's absolutely like a beautiful citrus vanilla fragrance with some green notes and some woods and stuff in there. So next, Roja Apex Intense. So actually, the Intense has nothing to do with the original Apex. Original Apex is more like Sauvage Elixir. This one is more like Dolce & Gabbana K ADT, but a niche version. So this kind of makes Dolce & Gabbana K or King more niche with better quality, more complexity to it, a little bit of oak moss maturity. So this is good for like the people that wanted something a little better, but they still like that original DNA. So it's got mint, green notes. Well, it's actually got heaps of green notes in it. Some of them are mint, grass, violet leaf. Then it's got like a chlorophyll note, patchouli, stuff like that. It's got some citrus, pomelo, bunch of woods in there, some aromatics like lavender, sage, cardamom, pepper. It's got some resins like elemi and myrrh, bunch of other notes. You can check that out on Fragrantica. But very beautiful scent. Roja was another challenging house for me to get into because prior to this, I only really liked, I think it was like Elysium Noir. I think it was like Vetiver. I think it was yeah, there wasn't much from Roja that I actually liked. So this is good that there's another one from the house I can recommend to people because Roja have beautiful bottles. That's one thing they always do is amazing bottles with that kind of like luxury association to them. People associate Roja as like a good high class brand. So next is by Chloe. This is called Cedrus. Now there was a Cedrus Intense that came out as well, but that kind of smells a bit too much like sandalwood. It's got like that Santal kind of pickle smell. But this one here is better than the Intense. It's just the original Cedrus. In my opinion, it's a little bit like similar to Blue Talisman. So I get like that pear kind of smell from Blue Talisman in this fragrance, but it's not listed in the notes. The notes are pretty simple: cardamom, woods, vetiver, sandalwood, and moss. But it's actually quite fresh. The notes wouldn't make you think it's as fresh as it is, but I like the freshness of this, the woodiness of this, and that whatever that pear smell is that kind of reminds me of Blue Talisman, that is in this fragrance. So if you want something like better than Blue Talisman and more light, airy, and fresher, Chloe Cedrus is a good one, in my opinion. Like, you probably may not think it smells the same as Blue Talisman. That's just something I can smell in it. So I'll add another Chloe fragrance into the list just in case you don't like Cedrus. This one is more for the girls. This one's called Rosa Damascena or Damascena. Basically, it's only got one note listed on Fragrantica, which is rose, but this is more of a fruity, lychee rose smell. So it's got like that fruity, fresh rose to it. And the idea of this one is for layering, but I recommend this to people just to wear on its own, because if you want a nice, classy, fresh rose, this is good for that. Like, it's good to have a rose you can layer or you can wear on its own, and it kind of does both things really well. So Rosa Damasca or Damascena by Chloe. Last one is another rose fragrance by UNUM as well. So UNUM. It's called Rosa Nigra. So Nigra. Not the forbidden word, but similar. So the ingredients, or the notes I should say, are peach, freesia, musk, cashmere, artemisia, anise, and sandalwood. Don't be put off by the anise because it doesn't have that licorice smell to it, so that's a good thing. This just smells like another fresh, clean rose. So if you want another fresh, clean rose fragrance, this is another option for you. And this is very unisex, almost watery like rose, this one. So this is more like a rose water kind of scent. But again, like, I didn't like rose for a long time, so whenever I do find a good rose, I gotta recommend it to people because, you know, some people can be converted into liking rose like I was. Like, in the beginning, I didn't like rose. I thought it was a little bit too mature. Now I find myself gravitating a lot towards these fresh rose scents because of how classy and fresh they are. And roses, I used to think rose was very feminine as well, but now I kind of see rose as more unisex. Like, a spicy rose is more for a man, but a fresh rose can go either way as well, can go girls or guys. And then you got more the sweet kind of rose, which is more for girls. I think the sweet rose, like the fruity lychee stuff, I would say that's more for girls. Like your Delina and stuff. But this one is not like that. This is just rose water. If you like that kind of rose water smell, with that artemisia, musk, freesia kind of smell in there too, and some woods. So that's the list done. I think there's only like 14, 15 fragrances in this list. I didn't really count them, but if I got to recommend one, it's obviously Diana Mango Sticky Rice. Only negative thing I can say about that is performance. So you got to overspray that one a lot. But the smell is absolutely worth it because it's just delicious. If you can, try Diana Mango Sticky Rice or try some of the others on this list. Thanks for watching. Peace.